I don't know if you ever bought a golf cart, but golf cart it costs you like 8 to 10 grand.
You told me this, yeah. Ridiculous.
And I started thinking like, 'cause I bought a golf cart for the marina, and I got a price on it, and I'm like, how much for what? And I'm like, all right, I'll take it. But I'm like, yeah, you gonna spend 8 10 grand on a golf cart? Is 100,000 on a electric truck that out of a question?
Yeah, no, probably not.
And no, it kind of put things in perspective. Granted, I just ordered a new Ford F-250 King Ranch Tremor with the Power Stroke, and that was $90,000 for a diesel pickup truck. And
Yeah.
you just prices are getting so insane. It's like $100,000 pickup truck's not out of the question anymore.
Mhm.
So is a $113,000 electric Hummer out of the question? Like we're in the ballpark, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I've always
Or
associated Hummers as like more of the premium stuff anyway, right? Well, I might be wrong.
we actually, the one company I own it does manufacturing executive search. We staffed that H2 Hummer plant back in the day in Mishawaka, and that was an interesting play that came out. Those things were pretty hot, and then I felt like the H3 kind of devalued the brand.
Hmm.
So it kind of went from like the H1 would have, and that's the king of everything. People still want those on the used market, and then the H2 came out, and those were selling pretty hot. And then I felt like, for some reason, I just feel like the H3 came out and just completely devalued the brand. But I always wanted to see Hummer get rebranded as a premium brand.
Hmm.
Like when the H2 came out, they called it like an urban assault vehicle or something. Like that was the trend at this rugged SUV that was probably always going to get parked inside a 3-car garage. Right? Like it was a joke back then. You're supposed to laugh, Kane.
Oh,
Like, come on.
sorry.
I know. Back then you were probably like 7 years old, so you don't probably get it. But I always wanted to see them rebrand and say, you know what, bring these things out, make them big, give them some power, charge $80,000 $90,000 for them, $100,000 for them, and I felt like suburban America would have bought them nonstop. And as a premium brand though, right? As not something, not the Tahoe and like suburban that you see everywhere now, or the Yukons.
Hmm.
A Yukon Denali, I think, can cost you probably 80 or 90 grand. Are you telling me you couldn't have like charged that much for a Hummer? And you could have.
Yeah.
So seeing this now coming out 113, and I'm guessing that's probably without all the options. You know, could bring out some nice profit margin. Now, I did see one of these in person. Have you?
Not the electric one. No, no.
All right. I've been looking at one of these, and then it's not obviously not going to replace my new Power Stroke diesel. It's kind of two different beasts, but it was a little smaller than I was hoping.
Hmm.
I saw one on the road, and it was actually towing a trailer behind it that you see like the people that do like trim work and that type of stuff on houses. Um, it's still a truck, but like every other electric car out there, or electric vehicle rather, they're always a little bit smaller. The Teslas are smaller. We just talked about the Mustang smaller,
Right.
and this is. I felt like it was somewhere between like a mid-sized truck and a full-size truck. So
Hmm.
I,
Interesting.
I'm looking for that like Ford Raptor size, full-size Hummer. You know, that's electric and whatever. It's probably going to be a buck 50. But if I'm out there, spending 90 grand on a pickup truck, I mean, what's a few bucks more?
That's true. That's true. The thing
Um,
about Hummers for me, this is not a sorry, Jen. So this isn't like it's not a great story, but where I grew up in Asia, you never saw these, right? That they at least when they first came out, were they very fuel inefficient? Is that right?
oh yeah,
Yeah. So like I remember these being kind of the quintessentially American thing, and like you only see them in the movies. And when I came to the States, especially when I moved to Detroit for a few years, you see them everywhere. And I just remember like it was just a crazy thing to me to see so many Hummers on the streets. Cause like I said, when I was growing up, these things were like the things that they're like fairy tales. So just the fact that they're coming out with an electric one and it's accessible, and it just blows my mind.
I mean, you were in Hong Kong at some point, right?
Yeah, Hong Kong and Tokyo and different places.
Yeah, I was just gonna go somewhere like, will this thing even fit down the street?
No.
Like, even if it's the most mile per gallon efficient, like on the planet, it's you
No.
wouldn't be able to you wouldn't be able to go anywhere with it. So,
The issue would be like going into parking lots because in a city like that, like the parking lots are typically underground,
oh
and
yeah,
they're not, like it would just be a nightmare. Yeah.
it's at a you think about even old parts of Europe, these things would never
Yes. Yes.
they would never fly. But I had have a few friends in Europe, a few in Germany, and then like I remember the first time he came to the States, like the first thing they wanted to do is like SUV. They want to get an SUV. They want to get a
Hmm.
pickup truck. They wanted like a V8 pickup truck because like V8s over there, I guess, weren't as common unless you're wealthy. But he's like, you got these Jeeps, you got this, you got that, and they were so excited to get over here because that's not really how they live. And
Yeah. Yeah. The only reference I ever had for a Jeep was Jurassic Park. Like I'd never seen one until I got to the States.
now you're, I'm not a huge Jeep fan, but you're probably missing out, right? Like,
Right.
um, but it's like the when the one guy brought his family over from Germany, it's like, oh, you got four people and you got some luggage, you got all this stuff. It's like, oh, it's nice to have room.
Yeah.
And yes, you can get by with the smaller car. There's a lot of things we can do without, and we can get by. But America's convenience, right? It's
Yeah.
having that extra space and not have to compromise. And that was the big thing that I've noticed with friends from Europe as they came over and got the larger vehicles. They don't go out and buy these like extended Suburbans. Just having a mid-size SUV is a big bonus to them. Or sometimes over there they have like that station wagon looking Audi, the S6 um, Avant or whatever it's called.
Mm.
Um, that's got some space to it if you got a family or if you want to haul something back from the store. Um, but it's kind of an American luxury. Like I don't go to Home Depot. I can throw plywood in the back of my truck and come home and build something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, parents, and I think the number one regret I hear when when their children are young, from like 0 to 3 or 4 years old, is they wish they had a bigger car. Wish I had a bigger car. Wish I
Interesting.
had a big
Okay.
because it's like putting the child seat in the back. You often got to move the front seat up, depending on the car and
Mm.
how tall the person is sitting in the front seat. And then you got to take a stroller with you and all the accessories to keep the baby happy and alive. And God forbid you want to take some other stuff home, like just throwing a stroller in the back of your car can eat up a lot of space. Granted, I think it's why you see so many like Tahoes and Yukons and like Suburbans. And now, for some people, I don't know if you need one that big, but just having enough space to like throw your stroller back there and some extra stuff and some groceries and not having to like push the front seat all the way up so the person's knees are in the dash. It have a little more space in a car is not a bad thing always. But it is. You know why it's bad? It's when these forking people can't drive. You ever notice like those large SUVs? They can never park straight in a parking spot.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they always come in at like a 9-degree angle, and like
Yeah.
they're always screwing up somebody, or they park so crooked they screw up the parking spots on both sides of
Yeah.
them. But I don't know. I might go test drive one of these one day. I'm just curious. It's in a weird way, it's probably extravagant for like an extra vehicle to keep around, but the thought of just having something plugged in and never having to go to the gas station is nice. It's
Yeah.
especially here at diesel trucks, it's always a pain to get to a pump here, and that's a whole other conversation. But we got winters. I live on dirt roads. Now, there's times when my father had his old car, he didn't even want to come down my road. He thought he was going to get stuck.
Yeah.
Our road commission's terrible, so it's like you kind of want to have a truck where I'm at, and so they have a truck, something that's plugged in, never have to go to the gas station, a little rugged, some extra space, can throw some stuff in the back. This looks like a pretty good deal to me. Um,
Yeah.
will the Cybertruck be faster? Probably. Do I care? Hell no. Like I don't I don't buy trucks to race them. I might take like a short bed, GMC, and then want to throw like a supercharged 6.2 in it or something and race that around. But do I care if my rugged off-road truck has like 4 seconds 0 to 60? No, not really, game.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's it's cool, but I have race car. I got fast cars. Like it's cool, but would I pay like an extra 30 grand for that? No, I just
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody will though. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just picturing this thing like blacked out, and I'm not typically a big car kind of guy, but this one looks pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, I could absolutely not see you in this.
The reality is you probably won't.
Yeah, I get no. Is that King jumping out of a? But I I could see you crawling out of like a 1976 Porsche.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I can see that. I don't see you. See, yeah, I wouldn't even fit in that Porsche. So that's not going to happen. Like
Yeah.
they need one of those shoehorns to fit me in. Well, I don't have any of those cars. Like I had to like sit in the back seat, like pull the front seat out, sit in the back seat.
That's funny.
Give me a what Southwest CEO test positive for COVID. I feel like the little
Wow.
banner that popped up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Breaking.
it's going to be an interesting couple weeks here. You know what?
Oh yeah.
Have they even had an auto show since COVID started?
Oh wow. I don't think so. At least not where I live. No.
Yeah, because like I used to like send the people at our companies, I would send them to the auto shows as whatever, get out of the office early and go
Yeah.
check out cars and do some cool stuff, and somehow everybody ends up at the bar. But it's nothing wrong with that. Um, but like I was thinking, like, have they even had an auto show in the last year and a half? And I kind of miss that. I love cars. I'm a car culture kind of person, and it'd be nice to go check one of these things out and see what's going on. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm excited to see that Ford, GM bring these products to market. Start seeing some more options out there. It's one of those things where I think I'll probably have like gas cars, a diesel truck, and then like some electric vehicle. Uh, I
Mm.
don't I don't think we have to go all electric vehicles right now. And then you think of where that tornado happened down in Kentucky, or
Yeah.
tornadoes. Like there's no power for how many miles. Like what do you do with the electric car right now?
Yeah. That's a good point.
You're gonna see FEMA have to come in with these like semi truck trailers for charging stations, right?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that I know when the crap hits the fan that I got a 55-gallon drum of diesel outside, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to get somewhere. Or you run a generator off of like propane or something. You could have a backup energy source and charge your car, but not if the tornado comes through. But
Yeah.
granted, the tornado probably destroyed your car too. But I do keep thinking natural disaster, because I'm not a prepper, but it's one of those things that I've had no power for like a week plus
Sure.
before, and I'm like, well, this sucks. And like, what if I had an electric car and this and that? And I would kind of like to be able to have at least one gas or diesel car and electric car. Like, I don't want to go all electric until. Do you trust the government to run the electric grid? Like in the long,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, my goodness, right? Like they're inefficient about most things. So to think that they can allocate the capital to make that happen, right? I think is we're probably if it would take 10 years, it's going to take us 30.
Is that well? What about like cyber attacks?
Yeah, good point.
The whole thing crashes, and then we're completely. At least with like the gas and diesel, it's stored energy somewhere.
Yeah.
But if we have like a major catastrophe, there's a war, there's something, there's a cyber attack, there's something that happens. What are those like crazy people? I hate to say crazy because maybe they're not crazy. Like they talk about EMP attacks or some shit, where they can like knock out the whole power grid. Um,
I'm thinking, or you just have an Enron who just plays with the power grids.
oh, that's too. It's like, we need to come up with like another 100 million in earnings. Let's knock the power down in California and make them
Yeah.
buy it. Make them buy it from Nevada, and we'll get our 100 mil. Like, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. It still feels good to have some kind of like, fuel, gasoline or diesel based.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Put a solar panel on top of my truck? How long is it going to take to charge a Hummer with a solar panel? I have to charge my car for like 8 hours so I can go like 2 miles.
Yeah.
And then
Eight
stop,
days.
and then like stop for another day and let it charge. You might as well just keep a tent in the back of the truck, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna bring me the horse and carriage. It's gonna be faster. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Just I think about strange stuff sometimes because the world doesn't seem to be getting any better if you look at it, a couple times a day. It doesn't feel like we're moving in the right direction, but we'll see. Anyways, that's all I got for this one, man.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I catch you.